Welcome back. For this week's Compassion in Action activity, remember, we're doing an activity that helps us to feel like God is with us, so to feel Emmanuel with us. And these small, tangible acts hopefully will help you express the deep, wide compassion of God. So this week's activity is to write a letter. Compassion is when you say, I see your hurt, I feel your hurt with you, and I want to help ease your hurt. So I want you to write a letter of encouragement to someone in your community. You can write a letter and give it to someone at the local grocery store, or you can send a letter in a mail to an older adult in your congregation, someone who's incarcerated, or medical workers at a hospital. Share some stories in your about many people's experience right now during the pandemic. I'm going to share some of these to help you, maybe help guide you and give you some ideas. So grocery store workers are considered essential workers and are working especially hard to make sure people can safely shop for food with their families. Healthcare workers put their lives on the line each day to care for those who are sick and need medical assistance. People in prison feel even more trapped because they can't go anywhere to escape COVID-19. A lot of times they might not be able to have the visitors that they would usually have. Older adults are more at risk of getting sick, but in order to maintain their health, they have to be isolated from family and friends. And some of our elected officials are working to make our communities safe, but they still need encouragement to work on making things better for essential workers, the incarcerated, the elderly, and others. And I'm sure there are many, many other people that you can write to, so hopefully those will give you a jumping off point. So many of the people I named might be scared or lonely, and we can be brave with them. We can show them that they're not alone, that we're with them, and we can give them a loving word of encouragement so they feel God's presence. And so I've included in the packets these sheets that you can decorate, color, and then write. And you just, as you're writing, I definitely encourage you to try to show empathy. So show that you understand what they're feeling. So you might say, I wonder if you're scared of getting sick. I'm praying for God to protect you. Like that would be a great thing to write to someone, one of our essential workers, right? Our younger children, you can make homemade thank you cards and care packages to hand out. So check page 65 for instructions on that. And so that is our Compassion in Action activity for the week. Once again, I'm so glad that you are here with me. I want you to think about last time. So I'm going to close our session now. Last week, we learned about how compassion begins with seeing and welcoming, right? It's really important to see. You have to see in order to feel empathy, and empathy is really what drives compassion. Today, we learned compassion helps us be brave. Being brave sometimes means we don't know what will happen, but we'll still show up. The friend who was paralyzed didn't know if his friends would help him. He didn't know if he would get to see Jesus. The friends didn't know what would happen when they got to the house to see Jesus. Maybe they wouldn't get into the house. Maybe the religious leaders or even Jesus would see them and turn them away. Maybe the friend who is paralyzed wouldn't receive the healing miracle. And so I want you to think as we close about how the friends were brave, how the paralyzed man was brave, and was there anyone else in the story that you thought was brave? So maybe consider those questions for a moment. Feel free to pause this if you need to as you want to discuss as a family. And then think about how compassion helped each of them be brave. The friend who was paralyzed had courage that helped him trust his friends and ask Jesus for help. The friend's courage made them determined to do all they could to help him. Jesus' courage showed the friend who was paralyzed he was loved and accepted. So we can all be brave together because we're filled with God's love, and God always promises to be with us. And so I definitely encourage you as we close, if you want to check out the Brave Enough song with Mr. Gary again, that would be a great way to close our session. When we see people are sad, happy, lonely, scared, or hurt, we can feel it with them. That's our empathy. That's the first step. To act on our empathy, we follow Jesus' example of compassion. Sometimes it is helping someone to do something hard. Sometimes it is being honest about who we are and what we need. Sometimes it is showing love and acceptance for the person in front of us. These things can be hard, but that's okay. We can trust God to give us the courage to be brave with our compassion. We're going to close in the same way as we opened with our compassion prayer for the week. Always one hand on your head, one hand on your heart, because compassion happens in our brain, right? Because it helps us make the actions, choose the actions we're going to take, but we feel compassion in our hearts. So once again, dear Jesus, your compassion always looked like courage. Strengthen our hearts with your bravery as we risk, reach out, and lift up our siblings near and far. Help us keep our eyes on you. Amen. Don't forget, we do have our coloring page for the day with our prayer on it. I definitely encourage you. You can post this once you get it colored. You can hang it up in your house, and maybe you can hang it up or put it beside your daily examine, which we have another set. We have our new prayer to help us to be brave, to trust and follow you, make us instruments of your help and healing. So be working using that daily examine throughout the week to remind you to use your compassion to be brave. Until session 3 next week, have an amazing, amazing week. Amazing compassion-filled week. Take care, everyone.